Hey, welcome into this edition of Dolphins Today. We continue to grow, and what better time as the Dolphins are coming off the bye week, ready to embark upon the second part of the season. I hope you'll join me for the journey. Subscribe today, and let's get to 51K, and let's talk some Miami Dolphins football on Dolphins Today. Hey, welcome in, and I'm not going to waste any time. Today's all about the optimism. I'm going to give you 5 reasons to be optimistic about the second half of the season for our Miami Dolphins, who are enjoying the bye week and the return from Frankfurt, Germany, albeit a disappointing trip to Frankfurt, Germany. But it's time to look ahead to the second half of the season, and it's time, in my opinion, to be optimistic about that part of the season, because here are the 5 reasons why I believe the Dolphins have this thing moving in the right direction. And I know the beginning of the season and the first half of the season, for that matter, is a little bit of a roller coaster, 6-3, and I know the narrative, but I'll say it again just in case you haven't heard it. I'm sure everybody has at this point, but the Dolphins have beat the bad teams they've played and lost to the good teams they've played. It's that simple. But don't lose hope, because Tua Tagovailoa, folks, is playing at an elite level, and he continues to take steps forward. And I know what you're going to say. He's only doing it against bad teams. Nonsense. Relax a little bit. The stats still jump off the page. The 19 touchdowns, the 2,609 yards. That's an elite level, even if it is the majority of the production being against bad teams. I'll still take that any day of the week. And if you want next-gen stats, we got those for you as well. Tua is the lead leaguer. Let me try that again. The league leader, there we go, in expected points added per dropback. That's an efficiency measure with next-gen stats. And his average throw is getting out fast. He leads the NFL in that mark as well, 2.35 seconds after the snap. But it's not just dinking and dunking, folks. The passing down the field is right around league average, so he's not just dinking and dumping. He is, in fact, getting the ball out and getting it to his playmakers. So, yes, there's been times where Tua has struggled against good defenses, but there's also been times where Tua has performed at an MVP level. And I believe that's what we're going to see moving forward, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comments. I think Tua is capable of being that type of quarterback, playing at an elite level against good teams. It's real simple. Type Y for yes or N for no. What's also real simple, and something I love doing for every NFL game, and don't limit it to the NFL, I'll do it with the NBA now that hoop season is underway as well, and that's PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, because at this point in the season, I know your fantasy team sucks. They're terrible, and you're tired of making all those roster adjustments and this, that, and the other. So play PrizePicks instead, because it is the most exciting and very easy way to play daily fantasy sports. Here's how it works. You simply pick more or less on a player's projected stat line. So you don't have a fantasy team. You don't have this long list of sharks and experts in your pool. No, it's just you versus the projected stat total. Check out what I got going on for Monday Night Football. Boo the Bills! Boo the Bills! They're in our division. We hate the Bills, obviously. So I'm picking less on Josh Allen's projected passing yardage total of 274.5. So I need the Broncos defense to step up. And on the contrary, hey, Bronco country, let's ride, or whatever they say, right, Russell Wilson? I'm picking more for your projected passing total. It's only 208.5 anyway. So Russell Wilson Jr., help me out. I need the Broncos to help my PrizePicks come true. And that's how easy it is. Super fun. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. And we will put the link in the chat for you, because I know we got to make it easy on you. But one more time, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS. We got a $100 deposit match waiting for you, as long as you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS for your $100 deposit. You're welcome. Now, second reason for optimism with this Miami Dolphins team, Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. Need I say more? Arguably the most electrifying player in the National Football League. and he continues to get it done. He's leading the league in receiving. He's on pace to break the NFL single-season receiving record, which would pass Calvin Johnson. And let's not forget, Tyreek basically called his shot. Am I right? He said, I want to have 2,000 yards receiving by the year's end. And lo and behold, he's on pace to do just that. Now, he was slowed down a little bit against Kansas City. And obviously, teams are going to continue to hone in on Tyreek Hill as the Dolphins' #1 receiving threat. But that just opens the door for Jalen Waddle, for other players in the receiving corps to step up. Cedric Wilson had a couple of opportunities to get open against Kansas City. Everybody knows that that play on third down in the final drive. He was open, not on the same page with Tua, but he also caught a touchdown in that game. So look for Cedric Wilson to continue to step up, and we know what Jalen Waddle can do. But even if, as they say, you hone in on Tyreek Hill, you still got to stop him. He's the fastest player in the NFL. So I'm pretty optimistic there. Now, flip over to the defensive side of the football with me. Make no mistake about it, and there is no doubt about it, this defense is getting better and better, and I'll start with the secondary. And it's easy to see why they're getting better. You've got the addition of six-time Pro Bowler Jalen Ramsey. He's only played 2 games, and in both those games, this defense, I'll say it, was tremendous, especially in that game in the second half, in particular against the Chiefs. And Jalen Ramsey talked about how comfortable he's feeling with this defense and the potential of this defense, saying it's going to get even better. Let's keep it real. This is my second game. I've still got to get where I want to be personally. X, referring to Xavien Howard, has been on and off, injured a little bit. He has to get a little healthy as well. This was my first game being able to play with Xavien and Jevon, referring to Jevon Holland. And he admits we have a long way to go. This gives me a lot of optimism for this secondary, and not only the secondary, but this defense. And every now and then, you find a player quote that says it better than anybody else could say it, and that's exactly what we have here with Jalen Ramsey. I think the sky is the limit for this Dolphins defense, and we saw a little bit of that when they were at full strength in Germany, defensively that is, against the Kansas City Chiefs. You had Jevon Holland playing, you had Xavien Howard, you had Jalen Ramsey, and in their first game together, after that opening drive by Kansas City, obviously they scored a touchdown in their opening drive, they really limited what Kansas City could do offensively, and I think that's a sign of things to come. So I'm very optimistic about this defense, but I want to know how you feel about this Dolphins defense. Let me know in the comments. We'll play a little confidence level, scale it 1 through 10. Let me know in the comments. So I said I feel really good about this secondary and about this defense, but I don't want to shortchange this defensive line because they're showing what they can do. And this defensive line is starting to come together and really help this defense as a unit all together. And I think that's a welcome sign. And it starts and ends with the leader of this Dolphins defense, and that is, in my opinion, at least the leader of the defensive line, Bradley Chubb. The edge rusher that Miami gave up a ton to get last year has really found his stride. And after a little bit of a slow start, he's playing at a really high level. Check this out. Bradley Chubb, that's his Twitter handle, Astronaut, has been a different monster in Vic Fangio's defense through 9 games, 40 tackles, 21 of them solo, 6 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. So he's wreaking havoc. And he's got the 6 sacks to lead the team, 4 forced fumbles, which is tied for first with Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie. So I've talked about this before, but it's worth reiterating. Not only is Bradley Chubb's abilities shown in the stat book, but he also wreaks havoc on the opposition by forcing turnovers, and those are impact plays. And you see it reflected in what the defense has been able to do. They've climbed up to 11th in total defense. And if you're with us for the majority of the season, you know it wasn't pretty early, and they certainly were not 11th. They were towards the bottom in the late 20s in that area in total defense. And 4 of their last 5 opponents, 21 points or less. That's kind of the bottom line in all this, is what is the scoring defense? What does the opponent score against you? And the Dolphins defense are getting better and better in that category as well. So That said, I feel really good about where this Dolphins defense is at, and I think you have to give a lot of credit to Vic Fangio. And he was under a lot of criticism at the beginning of this season. I'm guilty of some of it because this defense really wasn't performing at the level we knew they were capable of. But give it time, and Vic Fangio's defense has, and it appears to be, in stride now, trending towards being a strength of this team. And I think, personally, Vic Fangio deserves a lot of credit for that. But I want to know what you think as well. You got to be honest with me. Do you believe in Vic Fangio? If you do, if you believe in Vic, type B for believe. If you don't, not so much. Real simple, type D. So, to reiterate, here's the 5 reasons of optimism and why you shouldn't lose hope. I believe in Tua Tagovailoa. He's taken another step in the first half of this season. At times, has played like an MVP, and now we need to see him do it against good teams. He's got the weapons to do so. Tyreek Hill, arguably the NFL's best X factor. And in addition to Tyreek, you know who else we got? Jalen Waddle, along with Raheem Mostert and Achane coming back. You like what the rushing attack looks like as well. So all weapons on offense are going to be at Tua's disposal, which is one more reason why I believe in this offense. Now, on the defensive side of things, I think this secondary is loaded with talent that's all coming together to get healthy, and the D-line is showing its capabilities as well. But we want one more position group to touch on. We can't leave out the offensive line, and I put it this way. They have survived to this point, and they're going to get healthier and healthier for the second half of the season. And even in that, while weathering the storm of all the injuries, 4th fewest sacks allowed. Some of that has a lot to do with Tua getting the ball out quick, like we touched on at the beginning of the video. But check out Pro Football Focus's grades. And again, that's not the end-all, be-all, but it's a very important measuring stick and a good benchmark for an offensive line. 9th best pass blocking unit and 26th best run blocking unit, which is a testament to how well Raheem Mostert and Achane have still been able to run despite the PFF grades in that category. And we know the injury bug has bitten this offensive line. They've started 6 different combinations in 9 different games, and that depth chart has been a game of musical chairs. Austin Jackson has been the only guy to play every snap at right tackle, and you got Robert Hunt that is hurt right now, hasn't had to go on IR, but there is potential there. Now, Connor Williams, good to see him back healthy. He missed some time before that game in Germany. Isaiah Wynn remains on injured reserve, so Robert Jones has been backing him up, but we know he got hurt as well. And Terron Armstead, good to see him back in the lineup. So, yes, it's been a game of musical chairs, but as that offensive line starts to get healthy, you hope that they'll be an asset for the team moving forward as they take on their remaining schedule, starting with the Raiders in Week 11. And then that final stretch, Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills, will be a good one. Not writing off the Jets, Commanders, and Titans, because we know it's the NFL, and it's any given Sunday. Want to wrap it up with some exciting news as all. We talk the X's and O's and dive in, and here's why you got to feel this way. Let's have some fun, and shout out to our guy, the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. He gets married to Kita Vaquero and his longtime fiance. So shout out to the Cheetah. You'll love to see it there. The happy couple. Congratulations to them. That's what you do in the bye week, I guess. You get married, so shout out to them. Happy for them. So show some love in the comments. Type Cheetah to congratulate our guy, number 10, Tyreek Hill. All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to producer Jack, helping us every step of the way. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we appreciate your support of Dolphins today as we continue to climb up the numbers and continue to reach new heights. And what a fun ride it's been, but what a more enjoyable ride it will be as we see the Dolphins close out the second half of this NFL regular season. High expectations for the Miami Dolphins, and I want you to be a part of every step of the way. So subscribe now at youtube.com/DolphinsNews for daily Dolphins videos. live watch parties, and, of course, our live shows on Wednesday. Can't wait to see the Dolphins back on the field for the game against the Raiders in Week 11 of the National Football League on Sunday. And we'll have daily videos every day getting you set for that game. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment. And thanks for watching this edition of Dolphins Today. We'll see you next time.